Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I am making a video about a kit that I actually put out a couple of years ago, I think, and it's the His Eyes on the Sparrow kit. It has some pockets and other pieces, but the one I'm going to do on this video is this 4-flap box fold, because I thought I had put a video out for this. I couldn't believe I hadn't, but someone bought one and I just happened to go out. I was going to give her the link to the video and there wasn't one, so I am so sorry. So it's basically these 3 pages of the kit, so you can see what they look like. So pull those out, and I'm going to cut them out, and then I'll come back and show you what to do with them. Okay, I've got everything cut out, and I have another one here. It's a different artwork, but it's the same format, just so you can see what it'll look like. It's going to fold up like a box fold, and you unfold it, and there's a pocket here, there's a pocket here, here, and here, and then of course the design on the other side. And if you have this kit, you can print it out however many times you want to print it out. And another way you can use it is to put the little circle closures with the string, if you'd rather do it that way. But the box fold format works too, and it's a nice format to mail to someone, and you can put your little tags inside in the pockets, little scriptures, little notes, gift cards, things like that. But this is my Christmas one. That's a different kit, but that's the idea of it. So that's what we're going to make with this. So first thing, I think I will ink. Let's see. Haven't done that yet. So this kit is for people who love birds, or people who love that scripture, which I do, about the sparrow, that his eye is on the sparrow. And I know he watches me. I love that scripture, and I love that song. So that's the idea here. But it's got a lot of cute vintage artwork of birds and patterns and things like that. So I'm just using the Tim Holtz Distress Ink Vintage Photo. I like to go over all the edges on everything with that, just to add a little bit of it. Well, for one thing, it fixes edges. Like if you didn't quite cut it out evenly and you have a little white flash of where you didn't cut it out right, it covers that up, but it adds kind of an older look to everything. This kit, I kind of did it for you in the artwork. You can see a shadow on this part, but I still like to go over it. It hides that little white edge where you cut it. It kind of gives it, because it's not uniform when you do this, it just kind of gives it that handmade feel. One more layer of that. This one, of course, some of these edges are going to get covered up with pockets, so you don't have to do all of them. I think actually that's going to get covered up with a pocket, so I won't do that. And also, you need to make a couple of decisions on this, because it can go a couple of different ways. There's a set of flaps that can go on the front and a set of flaps that can go on the back, and you get to decide which is which. So let me do this real quick and I'll show you what I mean. Let me lay this out. You're going to have a flap here and a flap down here. Then we're going to flip it over, and you're going to put artwork on the back side. And so you need to decide what you want to show, because whatever's on the back side is going to show when it's folded shut. So I think that I'm actually going to keep this brighter color. No, I'm going to keep it inside, because these pockets are sort of brighter color. Now they're going to go here and here. And then these pockets go like this. And this one that doesn't have a curved edge is actually going to go at the top, and you'll know you've got it right because it'll be readable on both of those. And so then these flaps will go on the outside when I flip it over, and so will these. And so before I do this, I'm going to get my scoring board and score these fold lines. Also, when you print these, be sure you use matte photo paper. I'm going to start saying this a lot more because I have a feeling people out there printing on cardstock, and cardstock is not going to give you good color. It's very dull color, and the matte photo paper is not that expensive. It's I get mine. I get Canon. I get it on Amazon. 50 sheets, and it varies. It's either $6. It's been all the way up to $8, but $6 or $8 for 50 sheets. So roughly, I don't know, 10, 15 cents a sheet. But it is well worth it because you're going to get this bright, especially if you do Christmas or Valentine like this Christmas, you will not get that red unless you use matte photo paper. So anyway, enough about that. I'm going to ink this real good too. On both sides and the side. I just came out with my newest kit for the book of Luke, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I've got Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and now I just need to do John. So I'll have all 4 of the Gospels. And Luke was awesome because there's so much in that book. It is so rich. And so it was a challenge. It took me a really long time because there was so much I wanted to get in there. I didn't want to leave anything out. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And I'm going to put this flap here. Now I'm going to get some washi tape. You can use little strips of cloth or washi tape or whatever you want to do. And let's see. Let's pick out something here. I'm going to use this little narrow tape that doesn't really, it's kind of just going to fall into the background. Where's my glue? I haven't been up here for so long. I'm using this now. This is a new glue that I just bought. It's the pH neutral PVA. This is Books by Hand Line Co. I got it on Amazon and it works really well. It's the equivalent of art glitter glue or the Barely Art glue, which I also like. But it seems like it might be a little bit less expensive in the long run. You can buy it in a gallon. So I got this smaller bottle just to kind of test it, but I really like it. And I like the tip of it. I was using that Barely Art glue, and it was just, you really have to fuss with those nozzles on the other 2 glues. And this one doesn't seem like you have to do that, which is great. Okay, so I'm just you always use glue with washi tape because washi tape is not permanent. It will the glue will fail. So if you want it to be archival, which means last years, you need to put glue with your washi tape. And then I'm going to fold it up just to make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to put some up here. So just a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here. And then I'm going to center this because as you can see, these flaps are just a little bit smaller than this piece. And that's intentional because I wanted it to fold easier, so I made them a little bit shorter. And then that folds like that. And then we're going to put our little pockets on. So I'm just going to, this is really so easy. And it looks really cool too if you put it on the sewing machine and sew it. If you like to sew do stitching on your stuff. It really makes it look awesome. If you're giving them for gifts, you might want to think about that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and then the pockets here. We want this pocket. So put the glue, of course, on these 3 sides. And if it doesn't line up perfectly, you can always trim it down later. Don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then this one, you want to do these 3 sides. I have to always watch myself that I don't put glue on the wrong edge. And then, now be sure you don't get this over that fold. You want to get away from that fold so when it folds it doesn't bind. So let me see. Yeah, so it still folds really nice. Okay, now we're going to take this thing and just flip it over. And all you're going to do is glue these down like so. Okay, super easy. So I'm going to put the glue, and I can see that my little edges aren't going to be perfect together, so I'll just use ink on them and that'll correct that. So I'm careful to get it off the fold so that it doesn't do anything weird. And this one. And again, make sure it's off the fold. And this one. And I'm going to go ahead and put some washi tape on it. It adds a little bit of detail and it also reinforces it. So I'm going to get different washi tape. Let's see. Well, I don't want to get that bird's beak right there. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just put them on these two down here. I think I'll do that. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit there, a little bit there. And actually, this is attached. It's not separated like these two top flaps are, so you really don't need to put the tape on there to reinforce it. But I probably would have if that design of that bird's beak wasn't right up against it. Okay. All right, and then we'll flip it over. So you'll see what I mean about the white edges showing. And I'm going to mash those down because there's glue in there to keep those edges. So what you can do two things. One is, of course, you can trim it with scissors, which I will do on this one, I think. And I'm just going to trim that white off. And then I'm going to also ink it, and you'll never notice it. See if there's any other, yeah, this one I might trim too. Get my ink out and hit those one more time. See how it just goes away as soon as you hit it with ink? I could have trimmed that one, but that's fine. That doesn't bother me. Okay, and then flip it over and see if there's anything on this side that needs to be camouflaged. Now see that pocket sticking out a little bit there, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that with scissors. And that looks like everything else is okay. Let's see, maybe that one right there, get that again. Okay, all right, so that looks pretty good. So now all you do is, of course, you put your little journal cards of whatever kind you have in there, and in here, and here, here, and here, and then you fold it like you do a box, and it's going to need a little finagling. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna cut that little white edge off there, I think. Let me think. Wait, do I want to cut that off? No, I do not want to cut that off, so I'm going to ink that. Okay, and then, so when I say finagle it, let me show you. No matter how straight you think you get these flaps, it seems like they always get a little wonky. So you're going to fold it And if need be, like see right here, this right here is a little tiny bit over that fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit of it off. Just a hair. And nobody will ever notice it. So see how now it's missing that fold? So you just fold that up. And what did I do here? This is like not wanting to fold. I must have got that over the fold a little bit too. So I'm just going to manhandle it, make it behave. Okay, so and then so you fold it, fold it, fold it. And actually it lays pretty well. And then of course you fold this whichever way you want to do it. You fold the last flap under. And don't be afraid to bend it. It's pretty strong. And then that is your box fold. And so it can fold that way, or if you want to show these birds, or you can also fold it the other way and let these birds show. You know what? I did those upside down. Don't do that. This should have been up here, and that should have been here. So they would be right side up. Okay, well, maybe that's another good reason to do it this way. Although that poor little bird on the bottom is still upside down. Okay. All right. So that is the 4-flap box fold. And that is the, his eye is on the sparrow kit. Okay. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.